Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you? Hope you're all having a lovely time and you're all ready for Christmas because it's a-coming, whether you're ready or not. This is the Shanty Sessions by the Rogue Shanty Chorus. My name's Paul and I've got a very special guest this evening. This is, of course, episode number 38. Can you believe that? 38 sessions we've had so far, and I hope you've enjoyed all of them. Let me see. Our next session will be on the 5th of January. So we're going to have a little bit of a break, but we'll be back for the new year, 2021, a fantastic year for everybody. We know it's going to be. We've got some comments come in already, so I'm going to say hello to everybody in that regard. First off, Carly Franklin says, "Evening, Stephen, Paul, and everyone," from Carly and Kathy. Rosemary Balkett says, "Hi, Carly and Kathy. Hi, Stephen and Paul." Carly Franklin says, "Hi, Rosemary." This is a two-way conversation. Marion Bouchette, our lovely Canadian correspondent, says, "Hello to everyone and happy holidays from Canada." Michelle Gallagher says, "Good evening, everyone." And so does Linda Boyce. And Jackie Draper of Draper's fame says, "Evening all." So what do we have in store? Well, we've got some shanties, as you might expect, old and new. I'm going to be singing the 12 Days of Christmas as notated by Sally Hardman. So that's something to look forward to. It's very specific to the Rogue Shanty Chorus. So if you've not heard it before, you're in for a treat. I can honestly say with almost no sarcasm. And we have a special guest. Now, Santa has very kindly donated one of his elves to help me out today because Stephen's not here. He's genuinely not here. He's not going to be the elf, unfortunately, because I know you'd all love to see him in an elf outfit. But we do have, in the shape of an elf, the wonderful Andrew Marr, who's going to come behind this screen because we're keeping socially distant because he doesn't want rabies.
Hello, everybody!
It's Andy Marr, everybody.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas indeed.
God, I've had a journey and a half getting here tonight, Paul.
Yeah.
Ports are blocked. Santa dropped me off 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Fantastic. If you want to lift back, will you pick me up after the show?
10 minutes ago. So unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to rehearse, but
that's no chance there.
It's customary, isn't it? Yeah. So please give a shout out for Andy. Somebody that does that already is Rosemary. She says, "Andy."
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Rosemary. And hello to Monica Manning. She says, "Hello, everyone." And hello to Ben Southern, who says, "Evening, everyone." So what a fantastic treat for you all to have Mr. Andy Marr.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you.
Yes, it's lovely. It's lovely. That is. Okay, we're going to kick off with the first song in our catalogue, in the Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire. It's Rattle Them Winches, number 1. This was composed quite recently by Ken Stevens. I say recently in terms of shantyism. It was on his album Slop Chest. We call it Rattle Them Winches, but actually the real title is Rattle the Winches. And quite often other people have recorded it as Rattle-in Winches. And as I said, we follow suit by being incorrect. But anyway, Rattle Them Winches, number 1. I can't flick up any lyrics for you tonight, but it's nice and repetitive, so please join in. We're making money with this sound, rattle them winches, oh. Soon we'll all be homeward bound, rattle them winches, oh. Rattle the cannon, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. Oh, rattle the cannon, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. In the hold this gear must go, rattle them winches, oh. Mr. Maid, he told me so, rattle them winches, oh. Rattle the cannon, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. Hey, rattle the cannon, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. Eric was a shanty man, rattle them winches, oh. He was always on the old rantan, rattle them winches, oh. Come on, rattle the cannon, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. Rattle the cannon, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. When he was young and in his prime, rattle them winches, oh. He had them young girls 2 at a time, rattle them winches, oh. Rattle the can, stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. Rattle the can and stamp and go, rattle them winches, oh. But now he's getting old and gray, rattle them winches, oh. Those girls all look the other way, rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Better rattle them winches, oh. He's got a girl in Felixstowe. Rattle them winches, oh. These days she's let herself go. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Gotta rattle them winches, oh. We'll all have a drink in the Dog and Duck. Rattle them winches, oh. With the girls in there we'll try our luck. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Just one more rattle and then belay. Rattle them winches, oh. I reckon we rattle this gear about enough today. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can and stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Rattle a can, stamp and go. Rattle them winches, oh. Woo. Well, how are your fingers, Elfie?
Well, they're still there.
They're
still attached to my hand.
Blast boy, they look red.
They are. Well, they haven't played since before the first lockdown. So
yeah,
you just go take it easy.
I will. I'll take it easy.
Bear in mind, I'm an ancient elf.
You isn't.
You know that.
Already they're showing some love. Now, for those of you that don't know, Andy Marr is our fantastic percussionist drummer for the Road Shanty Chorus. He manages to keep us usually in time
Well, yes,
and in rhythm
most of the time.
most of the time. And he's our dedicated percussionist throughout all of our rehearsals, throughout all of our shows, and he's a good friend of Stephen and mine. Now, people are saying hello to him already. Rosemary Balkett says Andy. Ben Southern says, yay, Andy, which is what I said.
You said that?
Ben.
Oh, nice.
And Jackie Draper says, lovely to see you, Andy. That's I assume it's Jackie, not Barry.
To be honest, at my age, it's lovely to see anybody.
Yeah, he's got the right glasses on. Sue Day says, hi all, especially to Hymns Elf Andy. I see what you did with the old wordplay there, Sue. Lovely. Doreen Wright says she's watching. Good to know. David Woods of the Woods fame says, hello, Paul, and your little helper from the Woods household. And Marion Boucher says, that elf got rhythm.
Oh, you know what? Well, thanks.
I might have to wind him up in his back.
Yeah, you may have. Yeah.
I'm always winding him up.
Yes, no change there. Right?
Kerry Hyde, loving the elf outfit. I'm not sure we've met Kerry yet. She may be a regular watcher, but first,
I know Kerry.
You know her.
Yeah, she knows me. Yeah, she's.
Is she on the naughty list or the nice list?
I think she's on the
She's on the her.
On the cusp.
Okay.
Is that what you use?
Sally Hardman says, evening all, just in time because we're going to be doing the 12 days of Christmas soon. Michelle Gallagher says, fantastic start to the evening, gives it 4 rounds of applause. Well, thank you very much, Michelle. Rosemary Balkett beats that with 5 rounds of applause.
Oh my goodness.
No, there's a competition. Now, we said on the her. Well, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that don't know, perhaps you're not peculiar to Suffolk like we are. On the her means on the slant or on the skew whiff, which is another Suffolk word or phrase.
Yeah.
And talking of Suffolk words or phrases, have I got one for you? Now, we normally do Hey Heard It Boy, which is our Suffolk word or phrase of the week. And it comes straight from the book by Edward Moore. 1823 it was published. And the book is Suffolk Words and Phrases. Now, Edward Moore, he wanted to make sure that certain colloquialisms weren't lost through time that were found particularly in Suffolk. So he published a book of lots of different words and sayings in order to make sure that they would be continued throughout the ages. Now, today we have a very special one for Christmas. I say for Christmas. It's called Bumac. It's called Bumac.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
No, you keep your bum where it is. Thank you.
You know, this is the bit I can never ever.
You never get them right.
I never know. I'm well stricken in years, but I still never get the word.
And Andy never gets these. Neither do I, and I quite often choose them.
I think tonight's going to be no exception. I don't think I'll get that.
So one last time, Bumac. Anybody want to hazard a guess? Try and keep it fairly clean if you can. What Bumac might mean. Be interesting to know what you make of it. A few more comments I'm going to go to. Carly Franklin says, hey, Andy, from Carly and Kathy.
Oh,
Sally Hardman says, how lovely. I assume she means to 12 Days of Christmas, not Bumac. Janice Marjoram says, hello, everyone. By the power of magic and a little fairy dust, Father Christmas with his sleigh has just done some of his rounds around our way. They must have done that as they dropped you off.
Yeah, well, he said he had some stuff to do, but I just thought he's popped in McDonald's.
Yeah, I bet he did, yeah. Anyway, what else do we have for you? Well, I'm going to keep it nice and upbeat with one of Kevin's songs. This is The Call of the Sea. This is number 64 for anybody that wants to sing along and has a folder. It's called The Call of the Sea.
Really?
It's not a shanty in that it was never used for work, although strictly speaking, we're working right now, aren't we?
Well, we are, yes.
Yes, we are.
We have it is too.
Yes, this is it's hard graft.
You know, I haven't done anything since February.
No, I know. It's been a bit like that. So this is The Call of the Sea, written by Kevin, and it goes like this. Since I was a nipper and fed upon a kipper, I've always wished to go to sea. There was nothing on land for what I had planned, but the sea could set me free. Could set me free, could set me free. I've always wished to go to sea. Watching boats set sail, hearing every mariner's tale, I dreamt of adventure with glee. So at the age of 13, I sailed for country and queen, voyaging by royal decree. By royal decree, by royal decree, I dreamt of adventure with glee. With adventures aplenty, I had seen the world by 20, causing landlubbers jealousy. And I was not caught with a girl in every port, never brought down upon one knee. Upon one knee, never on one knee, causing landlubbers jealousy. Now wherever I roam, I can call it my home, but I know it's only temporary. As my mistress, the ocean, has provoked every emotion, she will always be the one for me. The one for me, she's the one for me, but I know it's only temporary. The one for me, she's the one for me, but I know it's only temporary. The Call of the Sea, number 64 by our wonderful Kevin Barnard. He's a resident storyteller. And I don't mean he's a liar. I just mean he knows the most fabulous tales, tall tales, especially peculiar to Suffolk. I'm going to show you a little picture now of the Rogue Shanty Chorus, because you might be interested to know what they look like. And what they look like is this. Now, this is a shot of them during our show. I think it was, I've got no idea which show this was. I can't remember.
I can't help you there.
Anyway, it was a show right here at the Seagull Theatre. And if you look by the top right-hand corner, you can see there's a big blue light. And that is right near where Andy is situated during the show, doing his thing. We had a sellout crowd that night, and it was a lovely show. And our chorus did an absolutely wonderful job.
I think we had a sellout crowd every night, didn't we?
Yeah, we're very lucky when we do our our shows here at the Seagull Theatre to be very well supported.
Yes.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Keep up.
Keep it up indeed. Now, keep up something else. Please give us a few suggestions on what Bumac might mean. And if you've only just joined us, it's a Suffolk word or phrase perhaps from long ago, or perhaps still in constant use. But you'll have to let me know what you think Bumac might mean. Bumac, B-U-M-M-A-C-K.
Wonderful word.
It would be if you knew what it was, so you could use it in the correct context. Yeah, I'll tell you, don't you worry. I'll probably need Michelle to remind me, because we often forget.
I'll remind you, because I need to know what.
He won't. Michelle, be on guard, Michelle. I need someone to remind me, because I'll probably fail to let you know. But you will know by the end of the night what Bumac means. A few more comments. Anne Vincent says, finally worked it out, Andy. So she's watching. So be on good behaviour.
I'm always on my best behaviour. Elves are always very well behaved.
Yes, usually. And Marion Boucher gave us 3 rounds of applause for the Call of the Sea. Thank you very much, Marion. That's literally too kind.
It's very good considering I actually learned that there and then.
Yes, he's not heard that one before. At least you did learn it. I didn't. Now, one other comment from Rosemary Balcott. She thinks that show was last October. Well, that would be interesting. Do you know what? Since Sally's here, I'm going to give you the 12 Days of Christmas as deciphered by Sally Hardman. I'm going to do my best not to mess this up. On the 12th day of... No, I've messed it up already, haven't I?
Have you? Oh.
Yeah. On the... It's got to be the first. You've got to start at number 1, yeah. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a 26-verse song of the sea. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 stripy jumpers, 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 funny warm-ups, 7 stripy jumpers, 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 tricky harmonies, 8 funny warm-ups, 7 stripy jumpers, 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 CDs for selling, 9 tricky harmonies, 8 funny warm-ups, 7 stripy jumpers, 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 concert posters, 10 CDs for selling, 9 tricky harmonies, 8 funny warm-ups, 7 stripy jumpers, 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 extra verses, 11 concert posters, 10 CDs for selling, 9 tricky harmonies, 8 funny warm-ups, 7 stripy jumpers, 6 solo lines, a 5-minute break. 4 extra syllables, 3 beats from Andy, 2 different versions of a 26-verse song of the sea. Thank you. Literally too kind. Thank you very much. So that was the 12 Days of Christmas, as written out by Sally Hardman. Thank you very much for that.
Well done, Sally.
I love a challenge. Sometimes we do love a challenge. Now, talking of a challenge, this is another fast one. This is called The Fisherman's Wife, or The Peterhead Fisherman's Wife. This is a song that Sally would know very well, as would anybody that took part in our Ancestors show. This is a very traditional fish gutting song, and it goes like this. Who would be a fisherman's wife to work with a tub and a scrubber and a knife, a dyed-out fire and a painful bed, and away to the fish in the morning? Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. There's not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. It's down to the Deans in the middle of the night, with an old syrup tin and a candle for a light, to gather up the pillars, every one of them in sight, so we'll get the line baited for the morning. Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. There's not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. My poor old father's in the middle of the floor, beating hooks on the tippets and the hanging on his chair. They're made from horse's hair, for that's the best gear to be going to the fishing in the morning. Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. There's not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. It's easy for the cobbler sitting in his nook, his big copper kettle hanging on a crook, but we're in the bow and we cannot get a hook. It's all hard work in the morning. Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. There's not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. It's not the kind of life a gentle girl could enjoy, with her fingers red raw from the scrubbing out at shore. A baby on her hip, she's away to carry coal. She'll be getting up early in the morning. Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. There's not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. Who would be a fisherman's wife to work with a tub and a scrubber and a knife, a dyed-out fire and a painful bed, and away to the fish in the morning? Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. There's not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. Here we come pouring in, 3 reefs to the foresail in. Not a dry stitch to put on our back, but still we're all teetotalers. Ooh. Thank you very much. Number 54 in our Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire. Just a little bit of explanation on that. And that is that in Lowestoft, so much fish was caught in the industry that it couldn't all be packaged and processed by the people that are living here, or willing to do the work, I should say. There's probably plenty of people living here, but a lot of them...
I say nothing.
Yeah. And so we would welcome young women from Scotland that would board with people, usually right by the beach in the beach village. They would board there, and they would often do the work of cramming the fish into the barrels, getting them ready and processed and gutted and all that kind of stuff. And this is one of the songs that would accompany their work. So it's not strictly speaking a shanty, but it is a work song because of that reason. So in the second verse, it's down to the Deans in the middle of the night. Now, the Deans is one of the beach areas, particularly where the beach village was, where the Grit was. Yeah, and right near where Stephen and I grew up. if you can say we grew up.
Did you have a tent down there?
A tent?
Yeah, is that where you
Oh, I see. No, but our grandfather was in fact from the beach village.
Yeah, I can remember back in my childhood, which was a long time ago. I remember playing in the houses on the beach village. There were still some houses left before they built Birdseye.
Yeah. Well, you came with us to that shop where we went downstairs, didn't you?
I certainly did. It had fascinating.
That was an incredible visit. Amazing. Yeah, it was this tiny, just part of the community, sort of about 5 or 6 sort of homes still down there. Yeah, just built over top of fantastic living museum, pretty much. Fantastic. In fact, this isn't a neat little segue. If anybody has enjoyed Ivan Bunn's history sessions on a Monday night, I'm afraid they've now come to a close. But, we're hoping to get some more funding.
Oh, they were very good.
Yeah, they were very good. And he talked about the beach wall at Lowestoft on one of his sessions, and it was a fantastic, really fascinating talk. And he showed lots of pictures of the time that you could drive the car right onto the beach. And I think there were buses. He had pictures of buses down there on the sea wall from long ago. Well, that's the Dean's Beach right there. Just a neat little connection to make. In fact, as I mentioned, Ivan Bunn and funding, if anybody has been enjoying those sessions and would like to see more of them, we would really, really value your feedback. If you could send us a message to this Facebook page or email us at contact@thevoicecloud.co.uk, then put some words down about how much it's meant to you, whether you've really enjoyed it, if you've rekindled a connection to your local history or your family history as a result, anything along those lines. If it meant something to you and you've enjoyed engaging with it, please put it down into words and send it to us, because we will use that to approach funders to show them the value of what Ivan's been doing on a Monday night. And as I said, we'd really welcome that. Something else we really welcome is your comments. And some that have come in are Maggie Clark. She says, "Evening, everyone." Little wave. Evening, Maggie. Michelle Gallagher says, "Love it, fantastic. Thank you very much." I think she means the fisherman's wife, because she sang that rather well in Ancestors, as did Sally Hardman, who says, "Well done and thank you." And that may be for 12 Days of Christmas. Rosemary Bowkett says, "Great." Sally Hardman says, "Any suggestions for next year's Christmas song? Shanty Baby, maybe." I think that's very good, by Eartha Kitt.
Very good. I saw what she
Droll.
did there.
Yeah.
I saw what she did.
Droll. Very good. That would be good. It's quite a slow one. Don't know if we'd get much work done to accompany. You know, Santa Baby, it's slow, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a great title. It seems a shame to waste it, though.
I can break out the brushes. That would go well with brushes.
Yeah.
I can work on that. Got plenty of time.
Robert Knights has given you a shout out, Andy. He says, "Please give a kiss to Andy from Anne and Brogan."
Oh, Brogan, Anne.
Yeah.
So lovely.
I think he's...
So lovely to hear from you.
It is, isn't it? And I know you both well, and well, not well, but well enough. And I personally think you'd prefer the kiss from Anne than from Brogan. No offense to Brogan, he's a handsome man.
I'm going to blush now.
Michelle Gallagher was singing along with harmonies. Thank you very much. Carly Franklin, a few rounds of applause, as does Maggie Clark. Marion Boucher comes straight in with the first guest of the evening for Bumac. Now, bear in mind, Marion is from Canada, or she resides currently in Canada, so she may not be that familiar with our Suffolk words and phrases, but she always gives it a good stab.
Hold on, I'll cover my ears.
No, it's all right. So Marion says, "Is Bumac a Scottish hammock that is only large enough for your..." And then she seems to have dropped off. Oh, I see what you've done there, Marion. Is it only a Scottish hammock, a Bumac? Could be. It could be. But I'd like to see some more guesses. Karen Reed, the manager of this fabulous establishment, says, "Evening, Elfie and Paul." And that means you. Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Now, at this point, I'm going to have a quick word just to say thank you very much to our funders. You can see right here, People's Health Trust. They fund us through the Active Communities program. And very, very grateful we are too. They have been funding us through our project called the Unique Coastal, Cultural and Musical Heritage of Waveney, which is celebrating the associated heritage of the fishing industry in North Suffolk. So the Rogue Shanty Chorus is an authentic fishing choir based in Lowestoft, which is the most easterly town in the United Kingdom. And we celebrate the music of fishermen and seafaring communities, and we sing sea shanties and maritime-themed songs as part of this wider creative arts project. So once again, People's Health Trust have been funding us. They've been funding us for well over a year, including throughout this lockdown period and epidemic period, socially distanced. They've been so kind as to keep us going and able to engage with the community online through these live streams. So far, we're up to number 38 episodes of the live stream Shanty Sessions. You can tune in and watch at any time because they're all available on Facebook. They're also available now on YouTube in glorious Technicolor and 4D. Not 4D, sorry, 4K. 4K, yeah, 4 candles. And you can tune in, watch them anytime you like. But if you're already tuned in tonight, stay tuned in. Something else you could do is to please click share. Click on this lovely lady here. Click share. And what that does is it means that anybody on your friends list, your relatives, your associates, your colleagues, your acquaintances, your mates, your pals, your chums, your buddies. They will get to see what it is that you've been enjoying. Hopefully you've been enjoying it, and maybe give them the chance to have a little look themselves to see if they fancy a crack at it as well. They might even become so entrenched that they hazard a guess at what our Suffolk word and phrase is, which this week, as Marion knows, is bumac. Bumac. What do we think bumac might mean in the context of a Suffolk word or phrase? Had a couple more guesses, which is good. But I'm going to read them out later. In the meantime, Sally Hardman says, are we also sponsored by the Elf Lottery? She's too good.
I did wonder when that one would come.
Yep.
I thought that we might get someone saying about elf and safety.
There is no elf or safety.
Spoil that now, because if anyone was thinking of doing that, I'll do that.
Well, I was, but yeah, forget it. No, that's fine.
Who cares about that then?
Never mind.
What would you like to do next? Have you got another song?
Yes. This one is called Cruising Round Yarmouth. 3/4. Now, 3/4, yes. Okay. Now, this is round index 2432. We based this on Harry Cox's version. And Harry Cox was a wonderful singer, native to Catfield in Norfolk. And he inspired us to add onto the Rogue Shanty Boys album. I'm just going to see if I've got a copy of that somewhere. Yes, I have. This is what you can find. Our album, the Rogue Shanty Boys, is called Above Board. And if you look somewhere around number 11 on that track listing, you'll find She Was a Rummin'. Now, the song is quite a rummin', and it's not for the faint-hearted, because you might find it slightly offensive, but don't let that put you off. If you enjoy something a little bit saucy, that's the song for you. Now, Harry Cox sang many a saucy song, and this one really is no different, but it is a little bit tamer than She Was a Rummin'. As I said, it's called Cruising Round Yarmouth. While cruising round Yarmouth one day for a spree, I met a fair damsel, the wind blowing free. I'm a fast-going clipper, my kind sir, said she. I'm ready for cargo, my hold it is free. Singing Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. What country she came from, I could not tell which, but by her appearance, I thought she was Dutch. Her flag wore rich colours, her masthead was low. She was round at the quarter and buff at the bow, singing Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. Well, I gave her the rope, and I took her in tow. From yardarm to yardarm, a-towing we go. We towed on together till we came to the head. We both towed together through Trafalgar Bay, singing Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. We towed till we came to the house of Expire. We gave her old horse with a plenty of ire. I lift up her hatches, found plenty of room, and into her cabin I stuck my jib boom, singing Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. She took me upstairs and her topsails she lowered. In her neat little parlour she soon had me moored. She laid in her foresails, her stale sails and all, with her lily white hand on my reef tackle fall, singing Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. I said, pretty fair maid, it's time to give o'er. Betwixt wind and water, you've run me ashore. My shot locker's empty, my powder's all spent. I can't fire a shot, for it's choked at the vent, singing Falderal laddie, right Falderal day. falderalladee, right falderalday. Here's luck to the girl with the curly black locks. Here's luck to the gal who ran Jack on the rocks. Here's luck to the doctor who eased all his pain. He squared his main yards, he's a cruising again, singing falderalladee, right falderalday. Falderalladee, right falderalday, singing falderalladee, right falderalday. Falderalladee, right falderalday. And that was a song. It was a shanty. I forget what it was. I can't remember at all. No. I was so engrossed because Stephen can't be here tonight. But don't worry. He's not under my patio or anything crazy like that. And he sent in some videos for you to enjoy. This first one is Silent Night, and it lasts for about 3.5 minutes. So go put your kettle on while I play it. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face. With the dawn of redeeming grace, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. So that was Silent Night. Hope you all enjoyed that. I certainly did, and I watched it very carefully. Now, we've had a few more comments that I'm going to go to. Claire Garrett says, evening, sorry late for joining. No need to be sorry. Glad to have you here. Karen Reed says, Charlie says, please can you sing Wellerman? No. Sorry, Charlie. No, I can't. Yeah, because there's months of planning goes into these sessions and it's not on my list. But I tell you what I will do, Charlie. I will make sure we do it first thing when we come back on the 5th of January. So if anybody's wondering, we will be back after this session with episode number 39 next year, 2021, of course, with episode 39 on the 5th of January. And I will make sure, just for Charlie Reed, I will make sure that we do Soon May the Wellerman Come on that particular occasion. David Wood says, loved the version of Cruising Round Yarmouth. Thank you, David. Very kind of you to say so. Not everyone likes it, but I do. So I'm with you, David. Sandra Warner says, hi, everyone. I am watching, but having problems to give comments. Happy Christmas to everyone while I can. Thanks, Stephen and Paul, for all your hard work through the year. Well, thank you, Sandra. It's not really hard work because we really enjoy it, but it's lovely to know that you've enjoyed it too. So thank you very much. And I'm glad you made a comment. Please feel free to keep commenting. It's our delight to read them out. It really makes a difference to us to know that there are actually people there engaging with it. So when you post a comment, it makes you feel a little bit less lonely.
Well, I'm in the corner here.
Yeah, it's where you belong.
It does get lonely over here.
Yeah, you're on the naughty stall. Yeah. We have a comment from Michelle Gallagher. Says, beautiful version of Silent Night. It was my nan's all-time favorite song. It is a very lovely song, and Stephen did a cracking version of it, I have to say. So I'm rather jealous. Yeah. Now, I'm going to do a song now, which is not a shanty. It's a folk song, but not a shanty. I'm going to take you back to the turn of the last century, 1899. It's the Boer War in South Africa, and the British Empire's troops are fighting. They've been on the front line, on the battle lines for a couple of months at this point. The troops included New Zealand, pre-federated Australia, Canada, and Britain, as well as India and Ceylon. And there was a Canadian soldier, Private C. Jackson, writing home in December 1899. He said, I have just received a box of chocolates, Her Majesty's presents to the South African soldiers. There is such a demand for them by the officers and everybody else as mementos, he wrote. In fact, I have been offered £5 for mine, and at the Cape as much as £10 is being paid. Skip forward to the last couple of days. Conservators at the National Library of Australia have unearthed one of the world's oldest boxes of chocolates, dating back 120 years to the time of the Boer War. The souvenir chocolate tin was discovered at the bottom of a box of personal papers from the estate of an Australian bush poet. Remarkably, the chocolates were not only unmolested after more than a century, but still looked almost good enough to eat. The chocolate bar, wrapped and marked into 6 fingers, still had remnants of old straw packing and silver foil wrapping. The discovery astonished staff in the library's conservation lab, who weren't expecting to find sweets hidden amongst a career's worth of poetry, diaries, and newspaper clippings. There was no explanation provided about why they had not been eaten, but a little research unearthed some answers about the tin. It was commissioned by none other than Queen Victoria herself to provide comfort to Boer War troops at the turn of a new century. The tin was adorned with a royal visage inscribed with the phrases South Africa, 1900, and I wish you a happy new year, Victoria R.I. Now, the Australian poet in question was Andrew Barton Banjo Paterson, CBE. His life was 1864 to 1941. He was an Australian bush poet, journalist, and author. He wrote many ballads and poems about Australian life, focusing particularly on the rural and outback areas, including the district around Bynalong, New South Wales, where he spent much of his childhood. His most famous contribution is known as Waltzing Matilda, Australia's best-known bush ballad, and has been described as the country's unofficial national anthem. The title was slang for travelling on foot, waltzing, with one's belonging in a matilda, a swag, slung over one's back. The song narrates the story of an itinerant worker or swagman making a drink of billy tea at a bush camp and capturing a stray jumbuck or sheep to eat. When the jumbuck's owner, a squatter or landowner, and 3 troopers, mounted policemen, pursue the swagman for theft. He declares, "You'll never catch me alive," and commits suicide by drowning himself in a nearby billabong, or watering hole, after which his ghost haunts the sites. The original poem was written in 1895 by Banjo Paterson, and the sheet music for the song was first published in 1903. Extensive folklore surrounds the song and the process of its creation, to the extent that it has its own museum, the Waltzing Matilda Centre in Winton, in the Queensland outback, where Paterson wrote the poem originally. So I'd like to sing for you Waltzing Matilda, but I'll be doing it with the original lyrics of the poem, and it's from the book Saltbush Bill and Other Verses. And as I said, it's by Banjo Paterson. Oh, there once was a swagman camped in the billabong, under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he looked at his old Billy Boiling, "Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda, my darling? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? Waltzing Matilda and leading a water bag. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me?" Down came a jumbuck to drink at the water hole. Up jumped the swagman and grabbed him in glee, and he sang as he put him away into his tucker bag, "You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda, my darling? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? Waltzing Matilda and leading a water bag. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me?" Down came the squatter, a-riding on his thoroughbred. Down came policeman, 1, 2, 3. "Whose is the jumbuck you've got in the tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda, my darling? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? Waltzing Matilda and leading a water bag. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me?" But the swagman, he up and he jumped in the water hole, drowning himself by the coolabah tree, and his ghost may be heard as it sings in the billabong, "Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda, my darling? Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? Waltzing Matilda, leading a water bag. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me?" So not in our repertoire, not a shanty, but a lovely, lovely folk song, Waltzing Matilda, and with lyrics by Jacob Paterson. So I found that a fascinating story, especially because it's Christmas related, that they discovered those chocolates in amongst his life's work in the museum in Queensland, dedicated to his most famous work. Anyway, let's pick it up a little bit, shall we? How about I Saw Three Ships, Andy?
Well, what a wonderful idea.
Yeah, should we see three ships?
Fantastic. Yes, I'd love to. Come on, let's do that.
While you get your drum ready, I'm just going to say, Carly Franklin's hazarded a guess. Is that a word, hazarded? Anyway.
Could you say that again?
No, I can't. Could bumac mean an old type of Christmassy drink? Well, could it? Who knows? I'll have to come back to you. Bumac, an old type of Christmassy drink. Who knows? I'll have to let you know. Good guess, though. Sally Hardman says, "My cat is enjoying this. She keeps walking over the keyboard, clearly wants to join in with the comments." I think you should let her, Sally. And if you're about to get drunk and you're worried about what you'll type, then a cat would be a very good excuse to cover that, wouldn't it?
Well, yes, I think yes, it would.
It's not the cat that's had too much red wine. Anyway, Marion Bouchette says, "Question for you all. What do you eat for Christmas dinner?" Well, I've got to be honest, Marion.
Too much.
Yeah, I eat too much for any dinner.
Too much.
Yeah. In this country, we've tended to follow the customs of North America with turkey now. Usually, it's now become the traditional dish, I would say, for Christmas in our country.
Yeah.
Turkey, certainly in England, turkey with roast potatoes, roast parsnips, some carrots, some peas, some broccoli, grape.
Sauce.
Cranberry sauce, yeah, you've got to have cranberry sauce with your turkey.
Oh, please.
Traditionally, though, we would have eaten roast beef long ago. Yeah, I mean, long.
Don't look at me when you say long ago.
Well, I'm just.
You know, as if I remember that.
Well, you don't remember. He doesn't remember anything. But but traditionally, the British would eat roast beef, and I think I vaguely remember that they would be walked. The beef would have to walk to market to be sold, so that by the time it arrived at market, it was kind of nice and tender, and all the juices had been flowing in the meat of the cow. I'm a vegetarian, and so I won't be eating turkey or beef. I will, however, eat plentiful vegetables.
Brilliant, very good.
That's
why you look as you
do. Yeah. Yeah, a racing snake figure. Sally Hardman says turkey this year, so she's backed me up on that. Yeah. Rosemary Balkett says, could Bummack be Suffolk version of Lummock? Yeah, a Lummock. So somebody, a bit of a fool, your great Lummock. Is that what you mean? If it's not what you mean, forgive me. Anne Hayward says it will be a vegetarian Christmas, a mushroom and chestnut pie with all the usual trimmings. Rosemary Balkett's gone with the American version, turkey and all the trimmings, Christmas pudding and brandy sauce. Marion, I'm not sure if you have Christmas pudding in North America. I'm sure you know what it is, though. It's basically a more excuse for alcohol. Yeah, you don't need an excuse. Marion Boucher says, haven't heard that version before. Nice. Well, thank you. Yeah, I've always loved Waltzing Matilda, and I love the what is it? The Robert Troutman's Blues by.
Well, Rod Stewart did it.
Yeah, but Rod Stewart's awful. He covered the version of. Tom Waits. Tom Waits. Yes. It's not the only song that Rod's covered of Tom Waits. Downtown Train was written by Tom Waits.
Really?
Yes, it was. Yeah, his version is much better than Rod Stewart's.
He did a song called Jersey Girl.
Yeah.
It was nicked by my best friend Bruce Springsteen.
Is that the one where she's writing the letter to him? No, this is that's actually I think that's.
I got no time for the corner boy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's great. No, the one I'm thinking of is called something like Christmas Letter from a Hooker or something. It's probably not repeatable. So
you've got the wrong singer there.
No, that's Tom Waits.
Ah, Tom Waits. I thought you meant Bruce Springsteen.
No, not the boss.
Sorry, no. I missed a bit.
Yes, sorry. Anyway,
sing a song.
Loved that version, said Claire. Thank you, Claire. Gammon joint this year, honey glaze and cloves, says Maxine Howarth. Well, aren't you the poshy? Sally Hardman said, in the time of Dickens, the wealthy had beef, the middle class had turkey, and the poor had goose, according to a TV program I saw yesterday. Thank you very much for that.
Exactly what Bob Cratchit had.
Yes, it is. So you remember Bob Cratchit?
Yeah, well, he was a neighbour of mine.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, good for him.
Nice fella.
Until he drove him out of the neighbourhood.
Always going down the slides on Christmas Eve.
Was he?
Yeah, but you know, we forgave him that, and he was really nice.
Good. I saw 3 ships, apparently. So if you could give me a 3-4. Good. Here we go. Number 26 in our catalogue. Please join in if you know the words. I'd be delighted to know that you're singing along. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day in the morning? Our Savior Christ and his lady on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Savior Christ and his lady on Christmas Day in the morning. Pray whither sailed those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Pray whither sailed those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day in the morning. They sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. They sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice, amen, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Then let us all rejoice, amen, on Christmas Day in the morning. Thank you, Andy. Number 26 in our catalogue of the Rogue Shanty Chorus, I Saw Three Ships, the earliest publication of which was the 17th century. Traditional and popular Christmas carol from England, the earliest printed version of I Saw Three Ships is from the 17th century, possibly originating in Derbyshire. Was also published by William Sandys in 1833. The lyrics mention the ship sailing into Bethlehem, but of course the nearest body of water is the Dead Sea, about 20 miles away, so tricky to say the least. Thought that the reference to three ships would originate in the three ships that bore the purported relics of the biblical Magi to Cologne Cathedral in the 12th century. Another possible reference is to Wenceslaus II, King of Bohemia, who bore a coat of arms, azure 3 galleys argent. Another suggestion is that the ships were in fact camels, used by the Magi, as camels are frequently referred to as the ships of the desert. So you take your pick there. Before I go to another song, a couple of quick comments here. We have, a big comment from Maggie Clark. When I was little, we had chicken. Only time of the year we had chicken in those days. Tasted so good. Nothing like we get from supermarkets nowadays. We usually have turkey now, but it's nowhere near as good as the chicken from my childhood. Must have been good.
In my family, we never, ever had oranges or tangerines. Only at Christmas.
All right.
Never during the year. It was a specialty just for Christmas.
Nice.
It was,
I
just don't realise what times were like.
Yeah. What about nuts?
That's another thing. Yeah.
You were nuts.
Figs. There was always figs and dates.
Figs.
Does
anybody like figs?
I love figs.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up then. Okay.
Rolls.
No, there's no taste to it. Rosenbauer said they would have chicken at Easter too. Michelle Gallagher kind of gives 3 rounds of applause, which is undeserved. But Sally Hardman she flips the question. What do you have, Marion, for your Christmas dinner? Do let us know, Marion, what you have. Now, I'm going to go to something a little bit different. A lot of you may have seen this on a Facebook page of the First Light. Andy and I also belong as well to the Rogue Shanty Chorus, but also to the Rogue Shanty Boys. And we were lucky enough to be asked to contribute to a special event. Now, the First Light Festival is a grand, lovely event that happens in summer in Lowestoft, this most easterly town. That's why it's called the First Light Festival, because we get the dawn before anyone else in this country. Yes, we do. You could say anyone else in the world if you wanted to be, possessive, but I can't prove that. Anyway, so that couldn't happen this year, what with Corona and all. But the First Light Festival wanted to put something out to keep people on board. And this year it was more like the last Light Festival, because it was done on the winter solstice instead of the summer solstice. A fantastic song was written by John Ward called "The Light Returns," and that was performed on Facebook. And also a separate version was performed by us Rogue Shanty Boys. And this is what it sounded like. It's also accompanied by the words of a poet called George the poet. And you'll find there's some fantastic fireworks involved with this song called "The Light Returns."
Wheel. Something is turning the wheel, inside and outside. Listen, it's groaning with the sea's own voice. New light, new fire is coming. Prepare yourselves now. Always preparing itself, the future sets out for the distant shore, all its lights burning.
Boulder to stone, stone to sand, sand shifts, slips through our hands. But we span the ages and the changes, first to face the rising sun. Come the cold morning, touch sea and shore, flashing on the wing of the gull as it soars. Come color the harbour, the smokehouse and the score, flame the blades of the windmill, bless every goal. Wisdom and memory through centuries learned. The light returns, the light returns, the light returns. And we've come to this meeting, come to this meeting, over miles and millennia, miles and millennia, wave after wave, generations without end. And we've gathered on the shoreline, gathered on the shoreline, by the stones beneath the tower, stones beneath the tower, to share the sun's power as it brings new life again.
With the sea's own voice, new light, new fire is coming.
Well, do let us know what you made of that. And if you liked it, go over to the Facebook page of the First Light Festival. You'll find John Ward's own arrangement of that song that he wrote. A lovely song. And as I said, we were touched to be asked. Anyway, number 32, moving on. This is Drunken Sailor. What shall we do with the Drunken Sailor? Now, it's said that in the Royal Navy, shanties weren't really permitted. That's because they were a higher class of sailor, and they were expected to perform their duties without the accompaniment of a rhythm. So shanties tended not to be used, so I am told. This is one exception, though, because it talks about the punishments that would be doled out on anybody found to be drunk. So apparently this one was permitted within reason. What should we do with the Drunken Sailor? Number 32. Let me know you're singing along. This is the Rogue Shanty Chorus arrangement. What shall we do? 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 What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do? 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 What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, hooray it up! She rises, hooray it up! She rises, hooray it up! She rises early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Number 32 in the Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire. Hope you enjoyed that. Now, what else do we have for you? Yes, Stephen has another song that he would like to share with you. And I suppose we'd better let him. But we'd better. In the meantime, a couple of comments. Carly Franklin says that was very lovely. Thank you, Carly. Like I said, John Ward's own arrangement of that song is incredible. Yeah, really, really nice sound. John Ward's a fantastic local artist, and John and Lynn Ward, fantastic people. Maggie Clark said, lovely, gave it 3 rounds of applause. Thank you very much. And Michelle Gallagher, yes, costume change from Andy. Where's your Christmas jumper, Paul? Well, I donated it to Andy because it was too small for me. No, that is that's Andy's own jumper. I don't like Christmas jumpers. I just don't like them. I don't believe in them.
Do you not like them? Oh, you're all screwed.
I am an old Grinch. Yeah. What do we? Marion Bouchette has responded on the topic of Christmas dinner. Well, since so many people here are first, second generation immigrants, I think she means in Canada, not in this stream. Yeah. Christmas food is often a blend of the old world and the new. For us, of German origin, my mother would make turkey, boiled spuds, red cabbage. Bleh, she says, I love red cabbage. Yeah, I absolutely, pickled red cabbage. Whoa. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to have that. I'm going to have that with my Christmas dinner now. That's a must. Yeah, boiled spuds. I feel like you're missing out by not having.
She could send some.
Just pop it in a box. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, and send it to us. Has she got your address?
Yes, she has, because she very kindly sends us CDs and other things.
Excellent.
A book. Do send us. Don't really. You don't have to send us red cabbage. And if it comes from the continent at the moment, Marion, it probably would not reach us, would it?
Possibly not.
Because we're backed up. We're a little bit backed up. The red cabbage might help.
Well, there's only about 2,000 lorries parked on the M25. That's a usual.
Yeah, that's just a Friday afternoon. Isn't it? Anyway, my mother would make turkey, boiled spuds, red cabbage, cranberry sauce, gravy, lots of homemade cookies, biscuits for dessert. Best part of the meal when I was a kid, the cookies. Karen says there are a couple of very festive costumes backstage. You could go out and put one of them on, Paul. I could.
Oh, come on.
You're right, Karen. I could.
Come on.
It's not going to happen, though, is it?
Go on, please.
No.
Oh.
Anyway, so here we have this. What was this called, I wonder? The snows, they melt the soonest. And this is Stephen's final contribution. Hope you enjoy this. The snows, they melt the soonest.
The snows, they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing, and the corn, it ripens fastest when the frosts are settling in. And when a woman tells me that my face she'll soon forget, before we part our wage a crown, she's fain to follow it. The snows, they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing, and the swallow flies without a thought as long as it is spring. But when spring goes and winter blows, my love, then you'll be fain for all your pride to follow me across the raging main. The snows, they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing,
And the bee that flows when summer shone in winter cannot sting. And I've seen a woman's anger melt between the night and morn. So it's surely not a harder thing to melt a woman's scorn. So don't you bid me farewell, you hear not farewell to me. And with me then, my love, will you kiss and take your leave? And I'll wait here till the moorcock calls and the martin takes the wing. For the snows they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing. So, hey up, I'm not with you really. I kind of just pre-recorded this for Paul. So, a little bit of background about that song, and it is a Christmas carol, but it's not an obvious choice, and I guess that's why I chose it. I don't like going for the obvious choices always, but it's Roud 3154 for those who want to find out a bit more information about it. The version I know was recorded and really kind of popularised by Anne Briggs in the 60s and into the early 70s, and there's also a great version by Dick Gaughan, and there's a funny story by folk singer, or I mean, you judge if it's funny, but it made me chuckle, Tom Gilfillan, and he said that Dick Gaughan sang the song. I guess I should give you the title, The Snows They Melt the Soonest. Dick Gaughan sang that song, and he learned it by osmosis from Archie Fisher. Archie Fisher, wonderful folk musician. We've featured his music before on this stream, in particular The Final Trawl. But he says Dick Gaughan learned the song by osmosis from Archie Fisher, and then osmosis taught me it. Which made me chuckle. That's Tom Gilfillan. He does say, by the way, and I guess I agree with this, I still tend to the view that it might just be Male Chauvinist Pig Song of the Year, recognising the arrogance of the words, and there I'll let it be. It has a most beautiful tune, however, which was collected by the Newcastle radical Thomas Doubleday. Excuse me. So I agree. I mean, you know, we can put anything aside really if we think that the song is nice enough. No, but we do certainly recognise that it's, we'll call it self-centered, and interestingly, and very rarely actually for a song of this age, which dates to 1821 for its composition, it was put. They know the songwriter of this, and that was a Mr. Shufflebotham, deliberately credited himself in that way, not with his first name, and Tom Gilfillan suspects probably that wasn't even his real name, because he was a street musician, and certainly street musicians at that time could often come into danger, and so maybe it was a pseudonym. But anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that.
So that was called The Snows They Melt the Soonest. I'm sure you all enjoyed that, but do let us know what you think. We have a comment from Sue Day, and I must say, Sue, I hope you enjoyed I Saw Three Ships. You asked for it last week. I didn't deliver. I hope you'll forgive me, and that this week that's okay. And you've got your 3 ships fix. She says, red cabbage with cloves, apples, sugar, superb. Real fresh cranberries, not a jar of sauce. That sounds rather nice. I think we'll pop round Sue's house for Christmas.
To be honest, I felt perfectly okay when I voted tonight. I feel absolutely starving.
Famished, yeah.
I'm going
famished.
to pop in the nearest open supermarket on my way home. Can I get you anything?
You can get me everything. Now, I'm going to go back to our Suffolk word and phrase of the week.
Tell us again. What is it, Paul?
Bumack.
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 Yeah, what do you think bumack might mean? Who knows? Well, you can have a good guess. We've had guesses from Carly. She thought it might be a Christmassy type of drink. We had a guess from Marion, who thought it might be a hammock that you can only fit one bum cheek on. And Rosemary wondered if it might be a Suffolk variation of lummock, bumack. It could be any of those things.
Is it actually bumack or bumack?
Could be bumack, could be boomack.
Bumack?
Yeah. Could be bumack. Anyway, it could be any of those things.
Yeah.
That's the trouble with the book, is it doesn't actually give you the pronunciation. Not or often not. So let me know what you think it could mean, because basically I want to know. We have a comment. Who's this? And what do they have to say? Sally Hardman says, I think Bumac is a haystack. Ooh. Okay, if you could think of a wrestler called Giant Bumax, it wouldn't have the same ring, would it?
Not to,
No, okay. I don't want
to.
to.
Wurzel Gummidge today?
No, I didn't. I'm going to catch up on it later.
Oh, you really must.
Yeah. No, that's a good guess, Sally. Who knows? I'll let you know by the end of it, as long as I remember. In the meantime, one other thing, we had another of the Rogue Shanty boys in last week. Good old Nigel. I'm just going to give his book another plug. Freddy's Impossible Dream. It's a children's book. It's aimed at the rough age of sort of 10 years old, but suitable for younger and older and even us grown-up kids. Freddy's Impossible Dream. It tells the story of how Nigel joined our little band of merry men, the Rogue Shanty Boys, way, way back last year. Nigel Lungenmus Ward, and it's illustrated by his young son, Robbie Lungenmus Ward. And that's the book right there. Look for it in bookshops or pre-order it online. I highly recommend it. It would make a great Christmas gift if it's not too late.
I was actually delighted. I got my copy. Got your copy of that? I got my copy, and I'm in the book.
Are you?
I'm making an appearance in the book.
I haven't got my copy. I've ordered it. I think I was the first in the group to order it, but it hasn't arrived. Yeah.
So I got and see if you can spot me.
Okay.
You can't miss me, really.
Okay. Are you wearing your elf costume?
No.
No. Okay. Anyway, onward we plough to number 59. This is one of it's a recent addition to the Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire. You may not have a copy of this. I'm sorry, I can't share the lyrics tonight because we're in a different location. But it's very repetitive. It's a proper shanty, nice and old one. And basically, the shanty man sings the first and third line, and the chorus sings lines 2 and 4. Line 2 is Whiskey Johnny, and line 4 is Whiskey for me Johnny. So Whiskey Johnny, Whiskey for me Johnny. And it goes like this. Whiskey is the life of man, whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey where I can. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Whiskey made me pawn my clothes. Whiskey Johnny. And whiskey gave me this red nose. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here, whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. I'll drink it hot, I'll drink it cold. Whiskey Johnny. I'll drink it new, I'll drink it old. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey killed my poor old dad. Whiskey Johnny. And whiskey drove my mother mad. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, some like whiskey, some like beer. Whiskey Johnny. I wish I had a barrel here. Whiskey for me Johnny. Whiskey killed my sister Sue. Whiskey Johnny. And whiskey killed my brother too. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Whiskey up and whiskey down. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, whiskey all around the town. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, champagne's good and rum is free. Whiskey Johnny. But whiskey's good enough for me. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there. Whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh. Whiskey Johnny, number 59 in the Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire.
That's a big word.
I know, I don't even know what it means. What does repertoire mean?
I'll Google it. I'll ask Alexa when I go.
Yeah? Is that the
She's
missus?
very good. She knows everything.
Does she?
Yes.
Does she know why she's called Alexa?
That's a really good point. I'll
Ask her.
Ask her that.
Ask
Yeah,
her.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I reckon someone will do it while we're live streaming. And we don't have long left, you'll be pleased to know. Just another 10 minutes or so from us. In the meantime, just 10 minutes means I'd better fill you all in on what that word means. What does bumack mean? So one more time, I'm going to flash you some bumack. I'm going to flash it up on screen so you can see. B-U-M-M-A-C-K.
Tell us all, Paul.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Go on.
It's crucially, bumack, an old Scots word for a large quantity of drink, purposely brewed for a special occasion, and in particular at Christmas. So Carly Franklin was bang on the money there.
Charlie was there, absolutely there.
Yeah. Bumack, part 2. In the 18th century, a bumack was also the name of a party given by landlords to their tenants at Christmas time. So obviously that's kind of, it's evolved from the word for the brew. But yeah, so it's either Scots for a large quantity of drink, or the name of a party given by landlords to their tenants at Christmas time. And that features in the Suffolk Words and Phrases book by Edward Moore from 1823. Yeah, well, you didn't try, really. Now, Maggie Clark said, a pain in the bumack. I see, bumache. That's good.
Yeah,
Bumache.
yeah.
Could be. That's the kind of thing that does feature in, excuse me, in this book. But on this occasion, it was wrong. Sally Hardman's the first to congratulate Carly. Unfortunately, Carly, as you know, you don't win anything.
There's no prize.
There's no point, really. Certainly no prize. But thank you for all having a good old guess. Carly says thank you. No, thank you, Carly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carly.
Yes.
Well done, Carly.
Yes. And as I said, don't expect any prizes because there are none. I'm going to take this moment before we do our last song of the evening to say thank you very much to my friend and compatriot and colleague. And how long have we known each other? And too long.
I had hair.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Andy and I first worked together 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before that, we bumped into each other a few times on the circuit.
Yes, we did. And I used to back you and your cousins and Stephen, and when you used to do your little turn at the Marina Theatre on a Sunday.
Yes.
I could see the potential.
Yeah.
Could see the potential.
Can you still see it though?
But then you went over to singing. And then
Yeah, I should have stayed a dancer, shouldn't I? Yeah.
But there you go.
Anyway, I'm also going to say thank you to the People's Health Trust. As you can see here, People's Health Trust, the Health Lottery East. They're the good people that not just fund us financially, but they've been very supportive. They give us guidance and advice and help. They support us with publicity and getting out all the word of what we do here with the Rogue Shanty Chorus. We are extremely grateful to them. So thank you very much to the People's Health Trust for all of their help and support. They've made it possible for us to continue with the Rogue Shanty Chorus for some time now, but especially during this recent year of, well, stop-start and all kinds of halting and stalling that we've had to endure. We've all had to endure, but thank you to them because it meant that we were able to still reach out and engage with the community.
Well done.
Yeah, well done to People's Health Trust, and thank you to them because it means that not only have we been able to engage and try to entertain the good people of the Rogue Shanty Chorus, and the Rogue Shanty Chorus, I'm going to remind you, look a little something like this. So that's our Rogue Shanty Chorus. That's what they normally look like. But we found that we've been able to grow it and expand it to people all across the world. We have people regularly watching from different places in America, in Canada, in Poland. We had people viewing from Germany, or literally multinational audience. And we are absolutely, well, we're touched and humbled to know that people have enjoyed any of our episodes, and to still continue to watch was very unexpected. But so the Road Shanty Chorus, although it looks like this, it's grown to become an online community as well, and that's fantastic for us. So like I said, we are grateful to them for enabling us to do that. So thank you to the People's Health Trust for funding us through the Active Communities program. Whilst they fund us, I would say if you're enjoying this broadcast, once again, please share the post on your timeline. This helps to keep the chorus within the wider community, especially when we're not able to meet together. If you would like to support us further, you can do so by making donation at www.paypal.me/online choir. And you would find the page to do so. It would look a little bit something like this, so you'd know you're in the right space. You'll see our logo, the voice cloud there, and you hit a contribution if you wish. We know times are tight at the moment for most of us, so any amount is very gratefully received and would go directly towards keeping the Road Shanty Chorus singing. There's absolutely no emphasis to do that. But if you feel you would like to, that's where you would do so. And very grateful we would be for any kind of contribution as well. So thank you to everybody that's been able to support us in any way, whether it's just watching, whether it's to send us things in the post like CDs for suggestions and books for suggestions. Those are especially gratefully received because we love to do research on these subjects, especially when we're proven wrong. And for those of us that have just posted comments or shared or perhaps made a donation, all of those are really integral and crucial for us. So thank you very much. Now, a comment from Robert Knights. Brogan says, before you go, could you please tell us which aftershave Andy is wearing tonight, please? Now, Brogan, I can't do that because I'm so distant from him, as you can see. I can't even smell him right now, which is unusual.
That could be a good thing.
Yeah?
Could be a good thing. But yeah, I must admit, Robert does know. He knows that I do wear some class.
Is it Brute?
No.
Okay. Who else have we got? Sally Hardman says, you've done a great job this year, boys. Thank you very much for your time and effort. Thank you, guys. And a very Merry Christmas to you all and all my fellow rogues, old and new. Well, that's a lovely thing to say, old and new, because this has really grown. And I love to see it when you comment to each other and you say hello to each other. That really warms the cockles. Marion Bouchette says, all the best for the holiday season to you all. Sending love from Canada to our friends in England. We are thinking of you, and may the new year be more social and less distance. Yeah, let's get rid of the distance part of socially distance and just make it more social, more sociable. And thank you, Marion Bouchette, because you've been such a regular contributor, and you make such a difference. So it's lovely to have some of our old colonial friends on board. And Carly Franklin says, thank you for tonight and through this year when we haven't been able to meet. Thank you, Paul, Stephen, and Andy, for keeping us going. Hope you all have a happy and safe Christmas and New Year to our Rogues family. And one more before we go. Rosemary Balcott. Merry Christmas, Paul and Stephen and Andy. Thank you both so much for keeping us cheerful this year, and to People's Health Trust for enabling this to happen. Maggie Clark says, happy Christmas, Paul, Stephen, Andy, and all. Have a good one. We're going to finish with the Good Ship Calabar. I won't give too much spiel about it, but I will tell you its earliest date is found to be 1910. It tells the story of a canal ship. The alternative titles are the Manchester Canal, the Wreck of the Calabar, the Strabane Fleet, or as we call it, the Calabar. Come all ye dry land sailors and listen to me song. It's only 40 verses and it won't detain yous long. It's all about the adventures of this old Lisbon tar. The horse is doing its best. Not yet.
Not yet.
Who sailed as man before the mast on the good ship Calabar. Now the Calabar was a spanking craft, pitched bottom fore and aft. Her helmet stuck out far behind her, and her wheel was a great big shaft. With half a gale to fill her sail, she'd do 1 knot per hour. She's the fastest craft on the Lagan Canal, and she's only 1 horsepower. Now the captain was a strapping lad, he stood just 4'2". His eyes was red and his nose was green, his cheeks was a Prussian blue. He wore a leather medal that he won in the Crimea War, and the captain's wife was a passenger cook on the good ship Calabar. Now the captain says to me, "Me lad, look here, my lad," says he. "Would you like to be a sailor and sail the raging sea? Would you like to be a sailor on foreign seas to roll? We're under orders from Portadown with half a ton of coal." It was early next morning, the weather being sublime, when passing under the old Queen's Bridge we heard the Albert's chime. When going along the gasworks straight's a very dangerous part, we ran a hole on a lump of coal that wasn't marked on the chart. Then all became confusion and the stormy winds did blow. The boatswain slipped on an orange peel, fell into the hold below. "Put on more speed," the captain cried, "for we are sorely pressed." But the engineer from the bank replied,
"Arse is doing his best."
Then we all fell into the water and we all let out a roar. There was a farmer standing there and he threw us the end of his galosses and he pulled us all ashore. "No more I'll be a sailor, I'll sail the raging main. And the next time I go to Portadown, I'll go by the bloody train." So that's the Calabar, the good ship Calabar. Thank you to my friend Andy Marr and colleague, and thank you to everybody that watched. Just a couple of really quick comments. And Ben's, "Thank you, boys. Wishing you all a happy Christmas." Thank you, Paul, Stephen, and Andy, for all your work during these strange times. We wish you a safe Christmas and look forward to a safer New Year, says David Woods. Michelle Gallagher says, "Thank you, Paul, Stephen, and Andy, for keeping us singing this year. Thank you to the People's Health Trust. Merry Christmas to all of you rogues, near and far." Merry Christmas, Michelle. Merry Christmas to the Rogue Shanty Chorus, whether that be the people that we have actually here in the shows and the rehearsals, or whether it be the people that are commenting online or that maybe want to join us, or our friends further afield across the globe, unable to join us in person, but certainly making their spirits felt. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year and a very safe period. Let's keep our fingers crossed for 2021. Hopefully we can all sing together once again.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.